Alright, so anybody that's here checking out these videos I make is obviously a fan of Chris Hansen and his work. And you know about his days as TCAP and all those seasons. And then you know about the fiasco with that idiot in Texas who was the assistant district attorney, and that's why TCAP ended. And then Chris has made a resurgence in like 2015. You know, he had, what was that channel? True Crime Daily, and he had Hansen versus Predator, which I don't know what was up with that. They only had 6 catches. It's almost like what was his name? Vincent Ambrosio ruined it for that series, just like the stupid assistant DA in Texas did. So then Chris went on and he did something else. He was with, what was it called? I don't know. He had another show briefly. I think he caught like only 3 guys. And now he's back again. And this time he's on this show called Takedown with Chris Hansen, and it's on a different network. It's on True Blue. There is a YouTube channel, so you can catch these videos, but they also have like a normal paid channel where it's like $4.99 a month or something. So I'm sure you get more content, maybe more catches, more behind the scenes or whatever with Chris. But anyways, there's a couple things about this Takedown series. First off, it reminds me of a mixture of TCAP and Hansen versus Predator. Like, Hansen versus Predator kind of switched it up. It felt like, you know, the decoys were more active, I guess you could say. Like, you know, in the beginning of TCAP, it was kind of like, oh, hold on, I just whacked my toe on the banister. Like, they weren't really there. They were kind of just a voice in the background. They did show up later, like you had that one blonde kid who was really goofy with Stanley and stuff, but, you know, it took a while for them to get to that point. They also had the way over-the-top aggressive police. In Hansen vs. Predator, it switched it up. It was like, you had the decoy there right away, just greeting them at the door, bringing them in, kind of acting casual, like they really were just a kid there, even though, you know, that boy was pretty mannish looking, so that wasn't really a good decoy, but still. And then when they had the cops, it was just super slick. Chris just made them leave through the basement, which led to the garage, or not the basement, that side entrance that led to the garage, and then the cops were hanging out in there, and it was just a nice, quiet, smooth transition from hanging out with Chris to being arrested. So, anyways, that's kind of like what this one feels like. It feels like elements of both are in here. Like the house and the camera angles and stuff kind of remind me of old TCAP. But then you have like the smooth police and everything that'll show up out of nowhere. Chris shows up out of nowhere too in some of these. I've watched a few of these clips. I like it. I almost like this Takedown series better than all the other stuff Chris did. Because it takes like all the best parts of all his series and compiles them into one. But anyways, yeah, so the cops will come out of nowhere just casually. Like, there's one guy, actually, it's the dickbag that I'm going to cover this time. I chose the idiot I chose first for a reason. But he tries to escape, and it's like, boom, cops just come out of nowhere. They're already in the house. They just, like, come out of nowhere, boom, tackle this guy down. Way more efficient than the charades they used to pull out in the driveway back in the old days of TCAP. But, yeah, so there's that, and then Chris is more stealthy, too. He still tries to have his zingers, but, you know, he's way more stealthy. There's one where, like, the guy walks in, and Chris is somehow, I don't know where he's hiding, but he's, like, behind the door or something. So when the guy walks in, Chris ends up behind him and does his one-liner and just kind of, like, almost, like, corner/semi-startles the guy because he wasn't expecting some man to be there right behind him. And, yeah, it's a pretty good series, so if you didn't know about it, check them out. I like these Takedown ones. Anyway, so that's one. And the second thing is, Chris is way more aggressive in here than we're used to. It's funny. It's like he doesn't give a shit anymore. I think there's one guy, if I'm not mistaken, I don't know if he's quoting what the guy said, or Chris is just straight up talking to him like this, but there's one of the pedos, like when they first start interacting, I think the guy says, the pedo says, whoa, who are you or something? And Chris says, well, who the fuck are you? Back to him. And it's like, whoa, God damn, Chris. And he's a lot more snippy to these guys, too. It's like he's just sick of this shit, sick of all these fucking sick assholes that he has to constantly catch. And maybe now that he's on True Blue, you know, there's no connection to any kind of network requirements or anything. You know, this is some kind of independent company, so he's free to just do whatever he wants, however he wants, and he's, as they say, given zero fucks. So it's funny. I think that's why I like it too, because Chris is just way more aggressive than you've ever seen him. Some of the stuff he says. Anyways, this episode that we're looking at now is, it says, full episode, Glory Hole Jerry and Golf Cart Matt. So the guy I actually want to cover is Glory Hole Jerry. Pretty much, he's disgusting. And he's also a little pussy bitch, but he deserves it for what he's trying to do. But anyways, he's actually in the second half of the video. So what I wanted to do is just kind of roll like the new intro that Chris has. And then I'll just skip through and get to this douchebag I want to cover. So, let's get it.
Guy. Yes.
You're getting back.
I mean, that's really it for Chris. This is just them showing everything else they have on True Blue. So, I'm going to skip ahead now, and yeah, let's just get going on Glory Hole, nasty ass bitch. Alright, so that basically, where I'm at now is at the end of the last guy's thing. And now we'll be getting into the next guy. I don't really know how I should play this. On one hand, I kind of just want to let it play. And you'll just get a lot of exposition, because I don't really have anything to say over it. But at the same time, I don't know if I should leave that or just cut it out. I don't know. We'll just let it play for now. We'll see what happens. Oops.
The Viper decoy is talking to a guy named Jerry, who says he is 19 years old.
Oh, by the way, it says Viper decoy. That is, you know how, like, there was Perverted Justice and there was Tetrad Core and all that? That's the new thing, Viper. It stands for, obviously it stands for something. I forget what it is, but it's the new, you know, Perverted Justice.
No, he has not given me a location, but he said he's at his uncle's.
Oh, he's visiting his...
You know, one thing I gotta say about this guy is, clearly he looks like a guy. Like, if I had to guess, I'd say he's like mid to upper 30s, quite possibly even like a healthy young 40. What I mean by healthy is like, you know, took care of himself so he doesn't look too bad for his age. But he's the one that plays the decoy as, like, the boy, the teenager. And yet, all of these episodes that I've watched where he's playing as the boy, he actually kind of looks young. I'm like, what does he do? Does he put on makeup or something to make himself look younger? Like, he doesn't look that young. How is he pulling this off? But he kind of looks legit in a lot of the ones I've seen. I mean, he does wear, like, this big dumb towel and stuff, so it could just be, like, his getup that he's wearing is what's making it look like a kid. But, I don't know, it's confusing. I'm like, you had the other one from Hansen vs. Predator who totally looked like a guy. I mean, he was 19 in real life, and he looked like he was probably 25, trying to pretend he's 13. This guy's 42, and looks like he's, you know, 13, though, when he's acting as the decoy, and I'm just... It's a weird situation.
Uncle in this neighborhood. Yep. Do we know how far away he is, or we just know he's in the neighborhood?
500 foot.
You ever have one of these things where two different...
So here's the thing about this. They're talking right now about how the last guy, the golf cart guy that they just caught, is now... hold on. What am I trying to say? They're talking about how the guy that'll be coming in now is coming in right after the guy that they just caught, which was the golf cart guy, and how they live, like, super close to one another. They're like 500 feet apart from each other. So basically they're neighbors, pedo neighbors. But for this operation, it actually looks like the house they're in is it's like a trailer park. It looks like a decent trailer park. It doesn't look like rundown gross trailers, but the one of the shots right before where I started was like a trailer next to another trailer. You know, like stereotypical. You know, you got 7 feet of space between your front door, your entrance, whatever you want to call it, side door, and the other person's wall. So, given that, I mean, typically, not to talk bad about people who live in trailers, but typically, people who live in trailers kind of are lower quality individuals. I mean, it's kind of like a joke. I live in that trailer park there, brother. I'm down in the trailer park. I mean, look at Trailer Park Boys. Were they upper class individuals? No. You have Randy. What was his name? Oh, Ricky. I haven't watched it in a while. I'm getting rusty on their names. Ricky is basically homeless. Bubbles is basically homeless. Then you have Julian, who was the best one out of them, and he actually had his own trailer that he tried to take care of, but he was an alcoholic and basically got his money by scamming it, coming up with scams all the time. You know, it wasn't set up to be looking like a nice neighborhood. It's like low-class hillbilly people. So anyways, with that, of course you're going to have a bunch of pedos in an area. That's like a low-class thing to do. Anybody who has any kind of class about themselves and self-worth and self-appreciation, they're not going to be going out trying to fuck around with kids. It's the scumbags that do that most times. Or, you know, famous people in Hollywood, they apparently do that too, which is, well, saying a lot about them. But anyway, so yeah, Chris is here saying that he thinks it's surprising, but it's like, yeah, but your location's kind of a little more inviting to it than it's ever been. Normally, you look like you're in like an affluent neighborhood. You got this big, huge mansion you rented out, and the neighbors all have mansions as well. So, you know, it seems a little bit strange that there's all those pedals. You know, I'm pretty sure, wasn't there one sting in, where was that one? There's one sting where the neighbors even were like protesting because they're like, we don't want to be inviting pedos here. You know, you're getting pedos from... Yeah, there's pedos from our area, but there's also pedos from faraway areas that are taking the drive out here, and we don't want that staining our community. Where the trailer park, nobody gives a fuck. Nobody knows. Oh, look what's going on at that new house. They got lots of traffic over there. I wonder what's going on. I don't know. Maybe we check that out later. Like, it's different. It's just a trailer park. Nobody really cares. Anyways.
Guys were in the same neighborhood, essentially?
No.
I mean, I've never seen it before in any...
I've not had this happen before either. We've had them very close by where they're in walking distance. We've had walkers several times, but not this. I mean, we could see the last one down the street almost.
And rather than him coming to us...
Oh yeah, that's another thing too I think is funny about this sting house. All the other sting houses looked real. Like, I never was sure what the situation truly was. Like, if it was somebody... like loaning the house out to NBC to borrow, and, you know, not loaning, but, you know, maybe NBC was renting their house from them, paying them some money to use their house, or if it was one of the staff's actual house, or if it was a house that was for sale that they were just renting, or what the situation was. I never understood these houses, but they always looked legit in the sense of that they were fully furnished. Just everything you need was all there. It looked like somebody actually lived there. Both in back in the day TCAP, in the houses from Hansen vs. Predator, well, house in Hansen vs. Predator, that one looked real and lived in. And then you got this house, which is like super barren. I mean, this angle you can't really tell, but there's several angles that you see. Like, they walk in, the Predator walks in, and there's like nothing in the house. And it just looks like it's such a setup. Like, this house is literally just a decoy. Hey, look, here's a house, come on in. Okay, we got you, you're in this house. Like, there's barely any effort put in. And I don't know. I mean, I guess they don't really need to put effort in because these horny fuckers are showing up anyways. So I guess you just need a place to store them until the police tackle them. But it's just funny. Every single other sting, it's been in like a real lived-in looking house. Whether somebody was living there or not, I never knew. I never knew what the situation was with those houses. But this house... it's like bare bones. Like, I mean, even if you look here, there's barely anything. There's a wide open area over there to the left. Whatever that's supposed to be, there's nothing there. It seems like this is supposed to be a kitchen. Maybe there should be a dining room table over there or something. Nothing. You got one chair right there behind Chris. You got the one chair that guy's standing on to, like, install a camera or something. And then you got, like, a prop pizza box, a couple pumpkins, and some crap over there on that counter. Otherwise, not much going on. Pretty empty. I mean, this is worse than if somebody just moved in. Because at least if somebody just moved in, they probably still had furniture and such from their last place. Whether it was a previous apartment or a different house or something. Like, this is even worse than that. It's just so empty and fake. I don't know. Anyways.
He initially wants the 14-year-old boy to come to him. And his reason isn't one that I've heard before.
He has a glory hole set up. He wants...
In case you don't know...
Oh, perfect. Stop. There we go. This is what I'm talking about. See what I mean? It's like trailer park. You got I think this house right here that we're looking at is the decoy house, which again, kind of barren. Okay, they got a couple pumpkins out front on the porch thing and a bike. Ooh, that looks lived in. And then you got the neighbors. I mean, it seems like they're all fake. It's almost like it's like a model neighborhood. You know what I mean? It's not fake, because this pedo that we're going to talk about and then the one before him, both are from this area. But it almost seems like it's just fake, because there's nothing even going on in the neighbors' yards. But anyways, but see what I mean? It's trailers, but they're not bad. They're decent looking. You know what I mean? They're not run down. They're not like the ones from Trailer Park Boys, where they're nice enough, you know. But still. Anyways, did I have something else to say besides getting excited to show this picture? I don't know. Let's just continue. Oh, the glory hole. Yeah, this guy with his glory hole. Chris is going to talk about it, but I think the whole point of him wanting a glory hole was just that then. I don't remember if it was for him to do stuff to the kid or if it was for the kid to do stuff for him, but a way to do it anonymously so that he could, like, feel better about it. Like, oh, if I don't see you, then it doesn't really count type of situation, you know? So, like, he would do stuff to the kid or the kid would do stuff to him. I forget which way it was supposed to go. And then the kid was supposed to just leave. And it's like, And then that's just weird. Who the hell sets up a glory hole in their house? That's weird. Like, what are your odds of even getting use out of that? Like, glory holes are, I mean, they're disgusting, but that's supposed to be in, like, a New York City bathroom, you know, where there's a lot of traffic, not your house. Like, what the hell?
Is a hole in a wall designed for anonymous sexual encounter.
Knowing I'm 14 wants me to come there, walk in, use it, and leave without ever seeing him or knowing him.
This is a bad guy.
Yes.
Yeah, hey, that's actually the clip in the very beginning that they used for their intro. This is a bad guy. Anyways, I was just watching him with his two phones, because that's what they got to do. You know, they're going to have a bunch of phones so that then they can do all this stuff, talk to a couple of pedos at the same time so they can catch them. And, you know, I watch a whole bunch of other catches on YouTube as well. I used to watch I Catch Preds. He doesn't seem like he does anything anymore. Actually, I think he's on Instagram only now, and I don't have Instagram, so I can't really watch his stuff anymore. But he's there. You have DAP that I watch, Colorado Pet Patrol I watch. Obviously, anything that Chris comes out with, I watch. And I've been thinking about trying to do this myself as well. I don't really want to catch, I mean, it's complicated because I think I'd want to catch these guys. But at the same time, I really would rather just try to do this just to know who's, like, a creep in my neighborhood, you know? Just for me, just to know. Like, ugh, okay, not bothering with you ever, not talking to you, not anything. You know what I mean? It's like this one guy that actually was sort of in my neighborhood. He actually used to work at the local Walmart. He got busted. I think what was he trying to do? He was trying to hook up with, like, a 14-year-old or something, or a 16-year-old. Him and his girlfriend, though, it was like a tag team effort. And somehow he got busted. I don't think it was a sting. I'm pretty sure the kid was real. But I think he got busted because he told a friend or something. So the friend ratted him out. And yeah, he was in the paper for his arrest and everything. And like, prior to people knowing that he had pedo tendencies, he was kind of, I wouldn't say popular, but you know, people liked him. He'd talk to him, he'd say hi. Even me, you know, he worked at Walmart for several years. So after a while, you kind of get used to the employees, you know. You see him all the time at the register or whatever, and, you know, I used to chat with him a little, but then after that, I was like, ooh, I ain't talking to this motherfucker anymore. I wouldn't even look at him anymore, never mind talk to him. So, that's all I'm trying to say. I'd like to know, you know, catch some creeps in my area just so I know, like, okay, not associating with you anymore, because you're disgusting. But at the same time, like, you can't just leave it at that. I can't talk to them and find out who these people are and then just leave them. So, like, you'd have to catch them. And I'm like, well, I don't have time for that, though. I'm busy. I don't have time to be doing vigilante work on my phone all day trying to pretend I'm a 13-year-old and then go out and actually catch them. And, it's a lot of work. And, yeah, I guess you can make money off of it. These guys on YouTube do. And, well, I guess Rumble, because YouTube's for pussies. Or full of pussies, I should say. But anyways, it's still the point of you got to get built up first. It's not like I could just drop everything and start focusing on that. I'd still have to maintain my super busy lifestyle, and it would just make me even more busy in the meantime while I was trying to catch these fuckers. And then I'm like, well, then what do you do? You catch them and you ask them what are they doing, but then what do? You get the cops there. I mean, that's what Colorado Pet Patrol does. He always sets them up so the cops show up eventually, but DAP doesn't always. And I'm like, I don't know what to do. Like, I feel like it would get to a point where it's awkward. Like, I'm standing there talking, and it's like, well, how do I end this? So I don't know. I just make fun of him here instead. It's easier.
What do you think the odds are this is the first time he's done this?
Slim to none.
But there's been a development with Glory Hole Jerry, and it's one that I've seen all too many times before. An admission.
If you want some head, bro, I will still come. Just understand, I don't understand. If not, let me know. I'm 47.
Wow, so he's gone from 19 to 47
Yeah.
in the span of this conversation.
Yeah. And he just said that was a friend of a family's face picture.
So he showed you a picture that was obviously
he's trying to
somebody
lure
who was,
people in now.
younger.
So this is a little bit more.
Right,
I mean, this is a predator.
right, clearly. 47.
Pretending to be 19.
Yeah, so clearly what they're talking about is this fucker is... Obviously, these guys are pretending to be 13. It's almost kind of ironic when you think about it. Because they're here, they're not really 13. Chris is, what, in his 60s? And this guy, like I said, looks like he's at least mid-30s. And yet they're pretending to be 13, 14, whatever-year-olds, 12-year-old, I don't know. And then they're over here making fun of this guy because he's 47, pretending to be 19. But, at the same time, it's like they're saying, yeah, this guy is pedo as fuck, or predator, I guess, as fuck, because, like, him lying about his age, just it's more alluring to rope in these kids, you know. So maybe a 14-year-old is talking to what they think's a 19-year-old, you know. They don't think it's so bad. Oh, it's only 5 years older than me. We're both teens, you know. And in some cases, like, you know, if the kid knew that the actual person they're talking to was 47, they wouldn't be talking to a 47-year-old. They'd be like, you're 47? Geez, you're older than my dad. I don't want to talk to you. That's weird. But they do this, rope them in, get them close, and then, oh, by the way, I'm actually 47. Now you're in a weird emotional situation because you're like, oh, that's fucking weird, but I like you now. So that's what they're talking about. But yeah, anyways, my point is some stuff's going to happen to this douchebag, and it's just awesome because he deserves it. He's a fucking piece of shit, and... You know, you hear about his stupid glory hole and the dumb bullshit he was trying to pull with that, and how he's trying to lure in kids by pretending he's way younger than he is. And then this quote-unquote misfortune happens to him, and it's like, fuck you, asshole. Deal with it, you piece of shit. And it's just awesome-ish. He's whining like a little pussy the whole time. But it's just awesome. Like, yeah, that's what you get. Instant karma, fucker.
Sending people's pictures on his.
Right.
To lure even younger kids.
But it's clear to him that you're 14.
Very clear.
Yeah.
He's really about his glory hole.
I mean, the fact that he's 47, and that takes this to a whole...
Talking about the glory hole is not really funny. I only laughed at that because the way that the guy did, he's like, hey, he's just talking about his glory hole. Like, it's just such a weird conversation, you know what I mean? Like, Chris is... I guess you could call him a professional. You know, he's usually in like a semi-professional business suit situation. You know, he's not always wearing a tie, but at least he usually wears like a blazer or a button down at the bare minimum and slacks and stuff. You know, he's a investigative journalist, and you know, he's kind of a professional guy. So to just be casually having a conversation about a glory hole is just funny. And it was just funny the way the guy said it. He kind of just did it like glory hole, just like in a weird like throwaway manner. You know, just throw it out there, glory hole.
Different level.
He says, I'm looking to get oral and can truly deep throat you and swallow.
This is grooming in real time.
Okay, so before I said, so hold on, what did he say? Let me back up.
He's really about his glory hole.
I mean, the fact that he's 47, and that takes this to a whole different level.
He says, I'm looking to get oral and can truly deep throat you and swallow.
Alright, so yeah, that's what it was. It seems like he wants to do it to the kid, and that's the whole point of the glory hole, is so that way then they don't have to see each other, so when he's, doing stuff for this kid, it's almost like he can use this as a way to psychologically feel better about what he's doing. That way then, to him, it was, oh, there was just a dick and balls that came in and I enjoyed it. Psychologically, you won't see that it's a 14-year-old kid he's violating. It's just the dick and balls that he's violating. And then when it gives him the mayonnaise, You know, oh, I made the dick feel good. I didn't do anything wrong. Sort of, you know? Because I think that's his plan. Have the kid come over, you know, relieve some tension for him, and then have him leave. And then it's all behind the glory hole, so that way then he doesn't actually have to, like, admit to himself that he's fucking around with a kid. Which is weird, though, because obviously he wants a kid. So, like, why are you trying to lie to yourself when that's what you want? You're clearly going after that. First off, you're going after a 14-year-old. And second off, you're pretending you're younger, so then you're more appealing to the younger kids. So, like,
This is grooming in real time.
Yes.
Glory Hole Jerry is on his way. As the Viper team gets prepared, my team and I have to make sure all cameras are in place to capture the...
Hey, that big guy looked like Sam from, let's back up. He looks like, I think his name was Sam. Yeah, from Game of Thrones.
Glory Hole Jerry is on his way. As the Viper team gets prepared, my team and I have to make sure... all cameras are in place to capture the confrontation and the takedown.
Imagine, like, one of these pedos was, like, super observant and saw all these. He's walking in and, like, hold on.
My team and I have to make sure all cameras are in place.
He's walking in. He's like, why do they have a camera on the back of their the seed spreader and, like, wherever else they have one? Why do they have all these cameras? You know, I was also thinking about it, too. I never really thought of this before, but all that footage that they have on all these different cameras, that's a lot of work to, like, put together in the final cut. You know what I mean? You got this random camera right here. You got whatever camera's inside, and you got to cut and splice all that together. Oh, man, that was a lot of work. I never thought of that before until now. I'm like, God damn, that editor. Chris is probably the highest paid one here, and yet, ironically, he probably does the least amount of work. You know what I mean? You got the editor who's going to go through all that footage from, 25 different cameras, cut the best pieces, put them together to make the final cut, and that's just the video. Then you got to add in whatever music you want to put and whatever other stuff, the doom noises that they do and stuff like that. You have that. You have the Viper team who's actually out chatting with these pedos and setting up the profiles and going through it with however long it takes. I mean, some pedos move very quickly. I think the guy before this one, the golf cart guy, pretty sure he was same day. They started talking to him and it was like a matter of like an hour or something and he was already coming over. So some of them are quick, but some of them, like Lauren, you got to deal with talking to the guy for a month before he finally shows up. So, like, they're putting in a lot of work. And then here's Chris. I'm just going to come out and talk to these douchebags for 15 minutes. And I'm going to make the most pay because I'm the face of this shit. I never understand that. It never seems right. It's just like back in the day. Well, I say back in the day. With Steve Jobs, obviously he was the CEO of the company, made tons of money by being the CEO of the company. And it was like, at the end of the day, this guy did nothing. All he had was ideas. He didn't implement the ideas. He didn't make anything happen. He went to his engineering team and was like, hey, I was looking at my house the other day and I have way too many CDs and they're taking up way too much space. So what I want you to do is come up with a way to put all that music on this little tiny thing that's about, I don't know, the size of my palm. And the engineers were like, are you fucking serious right now? How the fuck are we going to do that? And then it became their job to struggle and figure out how to do that. Steve just came up with the idea and they had to do all the work. And then Steve's the one that gets the $1 billion payday where these guys are making $60,000 a year, but they're actually making this stuff a reality. And it's like, how the hell does that make any sense? How is that fair? Just like Tim Cook. Jeez, at least Steve Jobs had ideas. Tim Cook don't even have ideas. Now he's making $1 billion a year to do what? Just be a face? Hi guys, I'm the new Steve Jobs. You can call me Tim Cook. I have no ideas at all. I'm just the face of the company and I get a huge ass payday for it. yeah, fuck those engineers that actually make the better cameras, and that's basically the only improvements we ever do. Fuck them. I should get all the money because, well, Steve gave it to me. Like, what? That's a weird tangent. It has nothing to do with pedos. It's just something I always think about. Always. Like, you know, every time people would see Steve Jobs, oh, he's such a genius. It's like, is he, though? Is he? Like, let's be real. He's not. At the end of the day, he never did anything for Apple other than market it. Yeah, he was great at marketing. He helped bring the product to the mainstream. But, like, that don't make him a genius. He didn't do shit for the product. Steve Wozniak made the first one. He marketed it. Over time, you know, he had a bigger team that made the iPods and iPhones and iPads and all that. He didn't do shit. He didn't come up with processors or anything like that. He just came up with the ideas and forced other people to figure out how to make it a reality. Hey, you know what? I want this computer I have to not be... I want my home computer to not even be a laptop. I want just a screen that works just as good as my home desktop. Make that happen. And they're like, what the fuck? Are you kidding me? We gotta make a screen into a full-ass computer? And then boom, a year later, there's an iPad. Like, Steve didn't do shit for that. He made other people figure out how to do that. Anyways, long-ass tangent just because I was making a joke about these cameras and, like, imagine if a pedo actually saw it. Like, what the hell? Why do they go to camera on their seed spreader?
To capture the confrontation and the takedown. And that the Sting House looks like someone actually...
Yeah, they're trying to set this up. Oh, make it so that the Sting House looks like someone actually lives there. By having some boring-ass little stupid pumpkin decoration, a dumb bike, and these stupid-ass lights. Wow, so lived in.
He lives here. The decoy is in position and ready to meet Jerry at the door.
Jerry!
Vehicles off.
What is up with that guy? Let me back up for a second. Oh, great, this shit
Looks
again.
like someone actually lives here.
Yeah, come on, fuck off. No,
The
not that.
decoy is in
Come on.
position and
Come on,
ready to
so
meet
close.
Jerry at the door.
So, right there. That guy over there. Right there on the left. In the very beginning, I don't remember if it was the beginning of this specific segment or if it was the beginning of the intro. That guy is standing there doing that same pose. Like, either A, he's got some leaky-ass eyes, and maybe he should go see a doctor or something, because he clearly has a problem if they're leaking that much. Or B, he just is trying to hide from the cameras, in which case, then that brings up, A, why are you always in the view of the damn cameras? And B, why are you part of this whole operation if you don't want to be on the cameras? Like, the whole point of how this works is cameras. You need to catch these pedos, what they look like, what they say, and everything, and you're going to be part of something like this, but not want to be on the camera? Like, what the hell? I was going to say, unless you have some kind of, like, high-profile position at what you're doing, like you're some detective or something, and you just want to remain anonymous, but, like, I don't know, at the same time, you're a detective. Like, again, you're kind of... There's body cams and stuff. Like, you're going to be seen, so, like, what? I don't know. So he must just have, like, some real leaky-ass eyes. He needs to get that shit checked out. Something's going to be wrong. It's either extreme allergies and, like, this brand-new fake-looking house, or... I don't know.
Vehicles off.
But also waiting for Jerry is me.
Coming. Hey, what's up?
You know, hold on.
The decoy is in position and ready to meet Jerry at the door.
Okay, we're already here. Yeah. Come on. Right there, boom. Oh, whoops. Nope, not
So
yet.
waiting for Jerry.
Right here. There's a shed back there. And I just wanted to pause this and say something because I'm just wondering, A, whose shed is that? Like, these homes have no plots. It's like your ranch or whatever you want to call this, your trailer, and then boom, that's it. Your driveway's in the front. You don't even have room to pull up, like, next to your place. It's right in the front, your place, and then boom, that's it. And then trailer next to you on the other side. So it's not really like you even have a yard. So whose garage shed is that? And how is it even fitting? Like, it's got to be taking up your whole entire remainder of your plot to have this shed back there. And for what? If it's part of this decoy house, then you know there's nothing in there. It's a decoy shed.
Is me.
Coming. Hey, what's up? What in?
How's it going?
Good. What's up?
Well, from this angle, the house looks a little better. Those chairs are weird as hell. You know, it's like you got a light there, a couple of chairs, and then that couch. No TV, so that's just weird as shit. But I guess it looks a little realer from this angle. Some of these, it looks super like from the angle that this dick is walking in at, it looks fake. But this angle's not so terrible. It's not great either,
Hold
but
on, I forgot my charger real quick.
Oh, you're fine. So
Sorry.
You swear nobody's gonna be coming in?
No, my mom's at work still. She'll be home
I
not
need you
till
to
like
see
7 in the morning.
Right there. This.
anyways, that's kind of funny. You sure nobody's gonna be coming in? No. And then 2 seconds later, Chris, hey, asshole, why don't you go take a seat? Anyways, this is probably real shitty to do, but I'm gonna stop it right here. Basically, this is just an introduction to Blue TV, whatever the hell this is, and the Takedown with Chris Hansen. I will get into this douchebag because, this guy pissed me off when I was watching this. He's such a little pussy faggot bitch. But anyways, I'm going to stop it here because this has already been long enough. You know, I don't know exactly. I can't see based on my recording, but I know I started at like 11:45 and it's now 12:20. So, yeah, long enough. And if I go on and talk about this guy, this thing's going to be super long. We're going to be well over an hour. So I'll just make this like a part 1. Then part 2 will actually be me going over this dick. And that's probably about it. I don't think there's too much police interrogation or anything, so I won't really have that. But yeah, Takedown with Chris Hansen. Check it out. I like it. It's pretty good, and Chris is much funnier now because he's more aggressive now and gives way less shits about these assholes. Anyways, sorry for the weird cliffhanger or whatever you want to call it, the blue balls, but yeah, I will make a follow-up. Don't worry. We will continue with this piece of shit. And, yeah, thanks for checking this out. Until next time, I said see ya.